Wow, unsere Wunderwelten, der Freude auf der Spur. Hello everybody, we are here in our World of Wonders. Today Summer Romero is with me. She shows us her World of Wonders and I'm very excited about what you have to share with us. We just saw you, you designed everything what is here and you let it produce in Mexico. And maybe from your story, so you grew up in Mexico and then you were learning how you went to school in America and then you decided to have your own fashion label, and that's somehow made the story short. And what is when you think about your World of Wonders, what's that what you want to show us today?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me again in this part of our collaboration. So for me, I guess when I think of the word wonder related to my work, I think of the textiles. I think of the place of communal consciousness where these textiles, I think, come from. And I work with them since, now with college and all, like 14, 15 years. And it's a very magical world. And this is also why I treat it as a sacred space and a sacred practice. So this is also part of why I use sage and feathers in certain rituals to be able to to share and transfer the information I get when I'm doing the clothing and designing with the women into people through them wearing the clothing.
So what we just saw, you were praying and you were getting some information towards the clothes.
So what I did, it's what I call programming in action. So I since the very beginning of the label, I decided that I wanted to have the clothes be part of like enhancing consciousness in people. Mm-hmm. And I believe in magic and in the subtle world. This is a physical world and this is our physical manifestations, but there is energy that is working behind everything. Mm-hmm. And so I like to communicate with that to the spirit through smoke and through using really programming. For example, what I did now is to put protection, and that whoever encounters these pieces in their life, they can feel this protection and this this magic, this power, that something within them gets activated. So for me, I make more than clothes, I make armors. So I feel we're in a life it's a battle between energies. Sometimes it's high frequency energy that operates, sometimes it's low energy frequency. And so what I'm trying to create is objects that have high frequency to help people higher their frequency. Because if you wear something made in China with very low wage for people and in a very low careless frequency, when you put it on you will feel low. And so vice versa. And this is what I'm trying to share more than clothing. It's just like if you could wear a quartz, or if you could wear, you know, usually jewelry, we find these things in jewelry or smaller things, but I feel clothing, it's very important because it's the second skin. And I believe that it's a great tool to communicate also with spirit and the material world, and bringing them together through the contact of the people, because people are not just spirit and they're not just matter. There's a bridge, and this is where it is coming from, this practice.
Very, very nice concept, because it's the first time you talk with me about this, and I've never heard it before, that people program the clothing and that you get some information through it. Well, I want to share a personal story with you, how I came to you, how I found this shop. I was driving the road with a friend of mine, and then we were talking about protection and about, it's so, always in these big groups, it's so hard being protected. And then we came into your shop, and then I found this trouser with this protection belly thing. And then I had to get it, I had to buy it. And today it's the first time I wear it, and it's really like, it feels like very protective. And I was thinking about, oh my God, if you're pregnant and if you're wearing this is, I mean, this is really great things what you're producing.
I put them in a lot of clothing, so also it's very deliberate where the embroideries go. So for example, in this piece I thought, okay, where can, what about the trousers is the area, the most vulnerable area. And so it's this part, no, the hips, as women, we have like our ovaries and all this energy that when we're sad it gets stuck here. When we're heavily emotional, it's, you know, we are very related also to the moon. So I also do during the moon seasons some taking out certain pieces and the threads to charge with the moon. And then women that know this, that I share this with, which are the indigenous women, my beautiful team in Mexico, I feel they are very still rooted, and they still work with the real fire every day and with the real seeds to make tortillas, and to, like, they still have this very communal process with elements. They work with the elements, they pray for the water, they pray to the fire, they use the fire. So also it's very special that they know what it means. They don't have it so conscious or brought down with words or with concepts or isms. Like the people from the cities, we like to ism everything for a reason, I don't know. But they do this in a very respectful way, because they know that how important, at least love. I tell them it's a rule in our team to not work on the pieces. Neither me nor them are allowed to touch the pieces when we're not feeling good. If we're sad or angry, better to have your space to where you can let go of these emotions. But around the clothing and around the pieces, the embroidery, I feel is very respectful and important to not put any energy that is not as high as it could be.
Mm-hmm.
So my slogan of the project with the telar, it means weaving love.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, love is the most most powerful force that we can encounter in a human experience or in an outer human experience.
Yeah.
Because I believe the universe is made out of love, and this is like the umbilical cord and vertebra of creation, of all creation, our creation. And then, because of course, if I'm gonna create, I need to stand for the best and for most important source and force of how things come into creation.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, it's also like sharing the love and covering you with love. And imagine it's like here I still see there's a lot of women practicing knitting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the same if you wear a scarf or the socks that your grandma made, that Oma makes for you, thinking of you with this love, with this care, than if you go and buy it through the mall.
Mm-hmm.
Even if, you know, there's no way to compare it. And I think this is something that everybody can relate to. We all feel this difference.
Yes.
So yeah, this is...
And also the embroideries, you said that you first, like, you don't cut embroideries, you just tell the women how to do it and where to put it on which clothes, and then they made it especially for this.
Yes. So for example, these embroideries that we see in our pieces are made into scale because usually they work in large canvas, because they make usually mostly things for the tablecloths or covers for the bed or so. If you could see the traditional masawa work, it's big. It's like this, but in a big size. So for me, this is very, very important that people recognize that it's not okay to cut embroidery or a weaving or something that was already made before for a purpose, that it already had a purpose. So I design, for example, this and I say, okay, this part I think it would look good because this is a heart area. I want to also protect it. This dress I also made with a pocket so you can put cords and you have it in your central. Also, the point is in the umbilic, in my belly button, and connecting the strength with the heart. They don't know all of this, but they know it's for the heart only. So I give them this piece. I cut all the pieces that I already designed prior, so it's actual part of the pattern making are these pieces. And I just say, okay, now I take these to them with the cotton thread, really good quality cotton thread from Mexico, fabrics also from Mexico, all cotton. And then I tell them, you can do whatever you want, because this is also, I trust in their intuition, in their force, in their strength, in their vision, in their creativity a lot more. So I think working together, this is what I've learned, is that when you join forces is much better. Solo, one man or one woman can achieve as much as a group. And I think this is something that we also need to get back to as society, to work together.
Yeah.
And really make community.
How big is your team in Mexico?
Well, it's two beautiful women in Mexico City in the shop. One that is in the shop and one that is my left hand, my right hand. She's my
assistant.
Yeah, like I really, I appreciate their energy, because they come with also a lot of admiration and respect for what we're trying to promote as a shop. And also I have only one seamstress, sometimes two, but it depends on the work. And she also receives like all the clothing as like rolled in, like if there were tacos, because I cut everything in my studio. And then there's 15 to 17. It varies depending on the times and pregnancies and women's life. How many women are actually in the team of the embroidery, the Masawa women. So we're about altogether maybe around 20 something women. And each one has such an important part, and this wouldn't be what it is if one of them was not there.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate their understanding, because also I've been doing this for 11 years, and it's not so easy to find people that are in the same level, because what I'm doing is also not a traditional thing for Mexican textiles. So embroidering hats, it's something I came up with 9 years ago, and nobody has ever done it like this in by hand, no? At least not.
But in Mexico there are hats which have some...
The mariachi hats are embroidered, and these are the only hats, but it's for mariachi purposes, and it's the outfit of the musicians. Common people, normal people don't wear these hats, only if they want to make fun of something or dress like a mariachi. But it's also not...
Or here in Carnival.
Yes, so it's just a costume sometimes. It's a personification of something. Nobody's usually in their everyday life wearing these hats. And the original sombrero from Mexico, it's palm woven, but it's not embroidered either. So I'm trying to take the traditional, and I love music, and I also work a lot with music and musicians, because I work with frequency, and my grandfather was a musician, so I have a very special relationship with like using these. So of course I think they got inspired. I wasn't thinking of this hat, the mariachi hat, but the women started doing first the magueys, which then I saw where they got it from as inspiration. And it's the mariachi hat, but it's the only one, and it's so I'm trying to make something that are very iconic from Mexico into the world in a way that it's digestible for everybody, that everybody can feel comfortable wearing it and good about it.
Yeah, I see.
So the other wondrous thing about the brand, I think, is that I write a story. So 11 years ago, I was very into the permaculture world, and in the permaculture world, they call the earth Gaia. Gaia is Greek, but it's Latin. It's the eldest. Terra and Gaia are the two words for the earth, Mother Earth, but from very, very ancient times. Yeah. So Gaia Nauta came into my mind, and Nauta is a traveler, we all know it. So an astronaut would be someone that is in the earth going to the cosmos, no? To the stars. And the Gaia naut is the other way around. It is a being that is in the stars and arrives to the earth. And I feel we are all these in this experience. We are from here, we come from the stars. And so also based on the Gaia Nauta, then everything is Gaia based. Gaia crown, Gaia mask, Gaia boots, Gaia. Because I think it's the mother of all
creations.
Yeah, and also because you are Gaia Nauta, I'm a Gaia Nauta, but the things also are Gaia something, because they belong to this tribe or to this moment, no? To identify, because also textiles in Mexico are used as passports. And so you will know what is from what town, depending on what they're wearing. And so, of course, I want to play with this. We are now in this planet for who knows how long more. and we are from Gaia, no, or at least having this experience in this planet. So the crowns, for example, I love working with energy fields of the body as well, and I know this is the crown chakra. And also when you wear a hat, you are working or in touch with your third eye and your pineal gland that is behind, which is actually who's feeding the vision. The pineal gland, if it's stimulated, then you have clear visions, and the protection or the openness to receive divine information, right? So based on this, I like to take people for a ride into things that maybe they don't think about, but I am, and I feel it's fascinating, so I want to share it. I feel it's fascinating that you can wear something that activates your points, or that can give you a gift of a vision, or you feel different, and so then you can create different realities for yourself, because it's all about how you feel and what you're creating also in your life, in your relationships, etc., right? So I was researching a little bit about crowns, what they are, what they mean, so why, when, how they were used. Yeah. And I find there's always this common area where is a transmission of energy coming through the gold worn in all the crowns, and the crowns, not just the crown that we know as the king and the queen of the Europeans, but also the king and the queen, or we didn't have kings and queens like this, more like the sacerdotisas, how you call it, priests, and the people with vision would wear gold in their head area. Why? Because gold is a transmitting, it's a conductor of energy, and if you put this plus really powerful stones together, of course it's going to change the way you feel, and your field and your vision will change. So this was the first use. It was more about vision, because always who was ruling a town before was the wisest. Before. Now we don't know how. It's very different. But also I think it wasn't coming from a greedy part about money and about the value of the gold. It was just because gold is very well known to be the most precious because of this. It's not because it doesn't have numbers. In nature there's nothing with numbers. It's just how they serve to us, to humanity, and then things got out of whack. But I'm trying to, in a way, show this, because maybe people don't think about how, or don't know how to activate certain things. So this is what's behind the Gaia crowns as a power object.
And do you get some feedback from your clients who say, oh, since I have this hat, I have these visions?
A lot. Yeah. So actually, since my first collection, I was doing natural pigments first, my first collection. And the very first shooting I had in the mountains of Oaxaca, the woman that I was asking to be a model, she was mega afraid of heights. Mega. And she didn't tell me. And I was like, okay, now next you climb up here and we take a picture from down here, so the sky is the only thing we see. And she was like, she couldn't say no. She didn't know how to say, oh my God, I'm afraid, because there was a photographer, because there was a team, The photographer came from the coast to all the way to the mountain. It's not like we live with photographers, you call it. No. It was like, and then she was like, oh, I need to confess something. And then she said this, and she's very afraid. And I said, okay, let's do a little meditation, but know that you're grounded. This is in your mind. No? You can get over it, but feel the power of the clothing, and the earth is rooting you down, blah, blah, blah. And then she could stand by herself. Of course, before I had to be with like a little girl, like taking her hand for the picture taking and holding her, because this alone would give her some strength. or trust. But at the end she was okay until she was walking on top, and then she came down. This was the very first collection, very first photo shoot, and she's like, I really want to thank you, because this moment, this act, and really I felt the power that you were presenting in the clothes, and I'm not afraid of heights anymore. And I said, oh my God, this is not a joke. I can really affect or so I can really affect people with what I'm doing and with what intention I'm doing it. So this was the first, and then of course after many people write me, oh my God, I feel it. And so it's not a hippie thing that I got one day no. It's real, it's magic, it's real magic, and it's working. So for me it's such a blessing, to be able to help or serve humanity.
Yeah.
By creating clothes that can actually help you feel better and rise your energy and take you out of your comfort zone and confront you, but to have the tools that you can do it. And myself, I wear my things also when I don't feel okay.
Yeah.
I just wrap, because I feel hugged by something more big than me, and this gives me ground, and it helps me come back to my center when it's not so easy, because life is not so easy.
Yes, very nice that you explained a bit of your story and the whole concept behind it. And yeah, I learned a very lot from you. Now I think we want to see a little bit more of your collection. Can we have a walk through it?
Of course. 2 ways, for example, of working. This piece, for example, it's very a traditional cut from Mexico. It's like a small huipil, we call them. For example, design this shirt/dress, and then I cut the back because I visualized the back would look nice, and also for protection. And doing this piece, the purple, I give to them, and then they do. So for example, this one also, I would like the embroidery here has a color, and so I cut this piece, and then they embroider in whatever color, in any shape they like, give it back to me. Then I say, okay, this will look good. And I also have this other project where people bring old things. I like recycling as well. For example, this is one of my favorites. This is another way of them, the same tribe, to show the butterfly. And there was deer before in this area, not anymore. For me, this is very amazing that the women have this space to write and share further how they feel, what they do in their life when they embroider, what's about. So all our pieces have these messages from the women, of the ones that made it. This is how it all comes together. And for the writing, sometimes while I'm cutting, some information comes by. My own personal human experience, also whatever I encounter, I feel that we're all connected. And when I feel something, maybe it's because also other people are feeling it. And so I write about what I feel and see, mixed with visions and messages that create the story. I have really, in the most part, very good and close relationship with all my commercial partners that are feeling the project or really like it or whatever, and they know what's behind, because I also talk to them like we're talking about everything that's behind it, and that they're not buying or selling an object that is pretty and fashion. Because for me it's important to choose also who's promoting the work.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel it, I don't let you buy it and resell it.
Yeah.
Because also it's delicate, because sometimes just for money it's tricky, you know. It's tricky because it is a business, but I don't like looking or thinking about it like this, like a fashion label. It's like my mission in life is to protect people with power clothes. And I have to remember this because otherwise I get too stressed out. Because if I think about it as a business and like all the word itself, it's a little bit like, I don't like it so much. I'd rather just think, okay, I do this because I love it. If I want to stop at any point, I can. I'm not obligated. Even though I feel a very strong commitment to not let all this team not have what we've created in 11 years together, you know? Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, thank you very much for this interesting, for letting us having some insights about your World of Wonders.
Gracias.
I mean, that's amazing what you're doing. I wish you all the best with your brand, with the work, what you're doing in Mexico. And well, hope to see you soon in Carinthia again. And with all providing us with nice clothes, with nice programmed clothes, which you feel very powerful and very protected inside. Thank you, Summer, for being here.
Thank you. And I also feel very grateful that actually the response went better than I thought. People were connecting to the clothing way more than I thought. And I'm really grateful to leave a good amount of a tribe, shield and really ready for whatever comes, and to remember, like, this is why this clothes is in your wardrobe, in your home, to activate. So it should be used like this, to just for everyone to remember that this is the what's behind all, is just to have this power piece in your life that you can really rely on it, because it's super grounded, and that's something I can assure. For sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, everybody, for listening, and see you next time in World of Wonders.